We live in a culture where we're taught to suppress our emotions. We're taught to suppress the desires and the feelings of our inner child. I remember going to church when I was a little kid and having to sit down for very long periods of time, for hours. My parents were missionaries, so it was like, sometimes it'd be like church service after church service and then these other things. And just sitting there, and obviously, like, I'm a child, the body wants to move around and play and stretch and just sit there. And literally was shamed if I moved or if I stood up, you know? So it's like repressed, and then you go to school and it's sort of that. And then the world is telling you who you should be. You should be this person that wears this type of clothes, that walks like this, that looks like this, or whatever TV show character, you know? And then you have literally what we call armoring. You call holding patterns, where you always walk a certain way and you're just stuck in that pattern. You're just looping it. And it's not actually the authentic embodiment of who you really are. And it's like, there's this, we want to be free. And it's this crazy paradox. It's like, you know, the way that I relate to it is like, I feel like there's an animal that I am. The body is like an animal that wants to run around and stretch and dance and do all, you know, and it wants to break out of those holding patterns. It wants to break out of some sort of mental concept of who I am. And we've gotten so lost in this society, so that, you know, we've created an armoring around letting this process happen so that we can actually be free. We're actually creating our own bondage through this. And essentially, you know, it's the world of, you know, it's almost like, I want to call it like trigger society or something, you know. It's like we have this culture. It's like, if you're triggering me, if you do something that causes me to feel emotions that are challenging to feel, that I don't want to feel, or that are painful to feel, then you're the fucking problem. And you need to limit your freedom of expression. You need to limit who you are so that you don't trigger me. And what's really being expressed there is you need to limit who you are to the confines, to this confines that doesn't reveal to me parts of my pain and parts of my wounds that haven't been healed. And that's a fucking hard pill to swallow. That's like the ego never will admit that. You know, it's like anybody that isn't even like a little bit open-minded, not going to take that, not going to listen to that, you know, like turning the video off already, right? And I'm just saying, this is what I have taken on. This is like what I'm just speaking from my own experience of really going on to that, being triggered and being like, what's there? Like anger, grief, all of these emotions, just insanity, like letting it, just feeling it, letting it move through the body, letting it move, trying to understand it, learning from it. And that's really the solution to all of this. And then through that process of just, like literally I was riding my bike yesterday, and I was just like caught in my mind. I was caught in thinking of a fear of the future, or maybe this outcome is going to happen or something. And I noticed in the midst of my thought process of that, I wasn't paying attention to my body. I wasn't moving my body. My body was becoming like a robot, holding patterns, right? And then I just let the thoughts go, and I just started to move the feelings in my body, and I was like, oh my God, like my heart's hurting. Like, not like physically, like as in my actual palpable heart, but it's like my emotional heart is hurting. Like I'm feeling pain. I'm feeling like there's some injustice or something. And not even to have the words for it, you know. And it was through that moving it and processing it and understanding it by feeling it that I've been able to gradually layer by layer free myself from these holding patterns and just be who I am. And it's like so fucking simple. It's so simple, and everyone seems to miss it. And it's just so against the conditioning and what we've been taught, frankly, which is just so sad, you know. And so for those of you that are like open and willing to do this work, you know, I'm here for you if you want to reach out. about coaching, and then also just like really just this process of just, you know, allowing ourselves to feel our emotions, allowing ourselves to feel them, allowing ourselves to move through them, and then breaking free from the conditioning, from the holding patterns that keep us confined to a world of bondage, that keep us confined to being small, to being apathetic, to being lethargic, to not actually feeling connected to life, to the ever-flowing, dancing synchronicity of miracle that just is always happening, ready for us to jump into it. The great river of life, as they say. So, I love you, and I hope this helps you. Namaste.